Hi guys.
I am Heather Garner. I'm the theater teacher at Lone Star Elementary.
And I am Eve Lopez. I'm the art teacher here at Lone Star.
And welcome to Theater and Art Mashup. Today we're going to be talking about integrating art and theater and giving you some really, I think they're cool, but cool lesson ideas for all the grade levels that include art and theater together. So hopefully you'll walk away today. Our goal is for you to walk away today with something for kindergarten all the way up to 4th grade. All right, so we're going to start today by talking about a few lesson ideas that will work for any grade level. So, you can just adapt it for kindergarten or 4th grade or whatever grade you want to use it for. So the first thing we're going to talk about is puppets. Of course, in theater, we use puppets all the time. And then, of course, there's an artistic element to it because you can actually make your puppets.
Right, so we would be making the puppets in art, and there's lots of different ways to make it. We also thought about home learning as well, because, that could be something that we have to deal with. So this idea, sock puppet, would be great for school or home learning. It could be very simple, or you can make it fancy with googly eyes. This one's got a mouth, yarn hair. That one has awesome pom-poms, that really...
Ping pong balls,
not
pom-poms.
Ping pong, sorry.
They both start with P, I get it.
And
I like these eyes.
Lots of expressions, so that's a really simple way to do it. An even more simple way is to use paper bags, like those little lunch paper bags that you guys have. Or for maybe kindergarten, you could use a toilet paper roll.
That's if you can find toilet paper.
Yes. And add googly eyes, all sorts of things. So all those can work for home learning or school. This one is for maybe 3rd or 4th grade. This is a paper mache puppet, and I have the two pieces here, but I just wanted to show you how we made this paper mache puppet head here. I used just some paper that we rolled up over here. We wanted to make sure that 2 fingers fit in there so that we can move our puppet around. And then the head is made with plastic bags, sort of like grocery store bags, and they're crumpled up together and they're taped together to form the shape depending on what puppet you're making, what's your character. And then all the elements here, the nose, the ears, the mouth, they're all made with just aluminum foil. So we put some aluminum foil, we taped it on, and then we did a paper mache, a couple of layers of paper mache. I know you can use flour and all that stuff, but I always use half glue, half like white school glue, and half water for my paper mache. Then I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, I thought you were done.
Oh, now we gotta have the outfit.
That's right.
Right?
They need the costume.
I did a template for my kids just out of a cereal box, and then they used felt and they sewed it up on the sides, and then they would just put their head into the little shirt, okay? And then I hot glued the neck for them, and then they had their more sophisticated puppets.
And if you want to go a little further, you could add things, other felt pieces too. So if your character was somebody that was crazy, you could make them have a crazy outfit or whatever.
Yeah.
Same with sock puppets. We've glued construction paper pieces to create different costumes to show what their character is. There's all sorts of things you can do. But the way it works is in theater, I teach the puppet skills where they're actually learning how to move their hand or their fingers or whatever it is you're using for your puppets. And they're learning the art of puppetry. After that, we go into our project where they're actually writing their puppet show. So they have to brainstorm, decide their characters. And once they decide their characters, that's when they go and make their puppets in art. So then they have that idea of what they want their character to look like, or their puppet to look like. And then in the end, when it's all done and finished, we'll perform their puppet shows. So it's kind of a fun way to integrate art and theater with puppets. And again, that can be for any grade level. If you're using puppets for kindergarten, instead of writing the script, you would act out a story that they know, or a book that they've just read. So next, one day we were talking, we were like, what? You did a lesson on emotions? I teach emotions all the time. And part of characterization is learning what emotions are, learning how to project those emotions on stage and make them believable. So this again can be for any grade level, kindergarten all the way to 4th grade. Emotions is huge in theater, and she does some really cool things with really thinking about emotions and projecting them into artwork.
So I usually start off with a book, and 2 of my favorite books for this is Color Monster and My Many Colored Days by Dr. Seuss.
I'm going to talk about my books real quick.
Okay.
Do you have any more?
No.
Sorry, I'm an interrupter. I'm so sorry. Okay. This is one I use in mine called The Way I Feel. You may have seen this one before. What I love about it is it shows the faces with the different emotions up close. Not every time. But then another one, a new one I found is How Do You Feel? This one's really good too because it really has close-up pics of the emotions. Like, do you feel happy? And then it shows what the face looks like, and it also shows the body as well. So, I'm very sorry.
That's okay.
So, if I didn't share, I'd forget.
Starting off with a book is a great way to start, and I'm going to just show you some projects that we do. I talk a lot about the facial features and how you can tell what the emotion is.
Which is exactly what we do in theater. Too.
Right. And we also talk about color and emotion. So this is a really simple kindergarten lesson, maybe 1st grade, that just has the students divide their paper up in sections and practice doing different emotions, drawing different emotions. And then what color would they want to go with that emotion? This is another, I would say, K through 1st grade color monster. And so they would pick their monster, they would talk again about the features of the face of the monster, the eyebrows, the mouth, and what color would they choose to express that emotion. Okay, so for older grades, I would do something like this, which is a self-portrait, and we talk a lot about tints and shades, and so they choose a color that would express the emotion. And then this one happens to be with watercolor, but I would do it with a tempera paint so that you can do all the tints and all the shades and have a really good lesson on color theory. And then talk about the facial features, what is going to express that emotion that they want to express. And like I said, this is something for older grades. We talk about, of course, Pablo Picasso's blue period and give lots of different examples on how emotion is expressed in art through color and the facial expression.
One more book I want to mention just for theater teachers is, I know a lot of you guys know about The Way I Feel, but then there's also The Way I Act, which helps show more of, of what those feelings look like. If someone's compassionate, this is what it looks like. It's just a really cool book to help with characterization. Speaking of literature, we're going to move on because I know in theater we use literature a lot. I love to use literature, especially with the younger kids. And in art, you guys do as well. Mm-hmm. And one day we were like, hey, these kids are saying they just read Elmer in art and we're reading Elmer. What in the world are we doing? And so we started talking about it, and we both use the book Elmer, and so does our librarian. So we thought, what if we did it all at the same time and connected it all? So we're going to talk about how we use the book Elmer for kindergarten.
Basically what we do is we talk about pattern for Elmer, and we practice different kinds of patterns, and they get to choose which pattern they would like to do. They also draw the elephant themselves, so we do a step-by-step draw with them, and we thought it would be a great idea for them to do this project in art and then go and use it in theater. And
I'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So in theater, the way I use Elmer is we read the book, and I usually teach it as part of our storytelling unit where we act out the book Elmer. And it's just super fun for them because there's fun, cool things to do with their body, and they absolutely love it. But if you don't know Elmer, at the very end is a big Elmer's Day parade. And so what we had been doing as theater is reading the book, acting it out, talking about it, and then we would rush and create this measly little Elmer the elephant. And in the end, it's super fun. They would hold their elephants up and we would have an Elmer's Day parade marching back to class, and they absolutely loved it. So Mrs. Lopez and I were talking about how they can create their Elmers in art. So they would do that first, learn all about the patterns, create their Elmers, and then she can secretly give them to me, and then kind of as a surprise, at the end of acting out Elmer, I can pass out their Elmers, and then they can have their Elmers they created in art for to finish out telling the story with their Elmer's Day parade. So we're gonna try that this year, and it's
One
just
thing
a
I
cute
want to
way.
say real quick, sorry,
No,
is that the books that I mentioned and the Elmers as well, I know that they have them online on YouTube.
Yes.
And so it's great for home learning as well. This is a project that they could you could definitely translate it to home learning.
Yeah, same with the way I feel. I know there's different YouTube videos out for those books. So, all right, we're gonna move on and talk about one more thing for kindergarten, but it also has to do with 4th grade as well. So every year I teach kindergarten a clown unit, and so they learn clowning, they learn how to act like clowns, they learn juggling, how to balance things, and different clown tricks. And at the end of the unit, my awesome team comes together and helps me out, especially Miss Lopez here, and we have a big clown day, and it's just during their co-cur, so I can't really call it a whole day, but we do. It's a clown co-cur, I guess. And they go around to different clowning stations. It's the whole kindergarten, and they just rotate through stations. Well, one of the ways we figured out how to incorporate art was with face painting. And so I'm going to let Mrs. Lopez talk about how she brings the 4th grade into this unit with her face painting.
Okay, so basically, I talked to my 4th grade. They get special permission that day, and they get to do the face painting for kindergarten. We practice how to do that very simply. We don't do the whole face. We do like just very basic shapes. Before we used to do the little red nose. Now Miss Gardner has a sponge nose for the kids, but they love it, and they do the eyebrows and all that stuff. So it's something that they feel like they're helping out, and it's just a great day for everybody. We really enjoy it.
Yeah, super fun. And if you need more information on that, you can email us. So we're starting to run out of time, so we're gonna go fast, but 2 of my very favorite subjects that I teach is actually theater history. So for 1st grade, Japanese theater, and 2nd grade, Greek theater. And there are all kinds of ways that you can integrate art into this. So in Japanese theater, the kids love learning about the Japanese fans and how they can use it in kabuki theater and what the different motions mean and the colors mean. So Ms. Lopez, we had the idea of having them make their fans in art, and then they can use them in a kabuki performance in theater.
I used 12 by 12, but I definitely recommend using a 12 by 18. This is just what I had. I know you know this project. Basically, you use Indic ink and you use a straw and you blow it out to make your branches. And then I just used the tip of my finger to make our cherry blossoms here, and pink, red, and white. And then I would do a template for the arc here. And then the kids fold it up, and most kids know how to do that, but obviously you can teach them how to do that. And then they have their little fan. You can staple it or use tape, and then they can use it in theater class.
Mm-hmm. And you could also do kabuki masks or kabuki makeup if you wanted to do that instead of the fans. Last, all right, we've got enough time. Last, 2nd grade, I teach Greek theater. Japanese was 1st grade, 2nd's Greek. They learn all about the history of Greek theater, and they get super intrigued with the masks. And we could talk for days about the masks. There's expressions, there's different uses for masks, and they always get super, super interested. And I thought, wow, art is something they could do and really learn more about it. So,
Okay, so basically this is a paper mache mask that you would make, cardboard on the back, tin foil to create the actual mask, and tape, and then you can use something as simple as tissue paper with half glue, half water to do the paper mache part. This is an even more simple one, just a paper bag. This is oil pastels, and we really focused on the facial features and showing emotion and expression with those masks. And then if you really want to go over the top, you can do more of a 3D mask. Again, with paper mache, I just use cardboard for that, and paper bags for the paper mache part.
And that's it. We hope you learned something today and have something that you can use in your classrooms this year. Thank you so much.
Bye, thanks.
Bye-bye.